Hey YouTube, how's it going today? How are you? What did you do today? Today we went to see Oppenheimer at the theaters. It was really, really good. My only issue with it is that it's super long. I can't handle sitting still for 3 hours straight. But other than that, it was really good. And then we came home, or no, we went and did a really quick grocery trip to tide us over until we go on Wednesday for a full trip. And then I had dinner, and now I'm doing this. So, what did you do today? Did you have a good day? Also, have you seen Oppenheimer? And if so, did you like it? We have 3 people here. That's so cool. Hi, Lori. Thank you. Hi, Charlie. Thank you for being here. Hi, DC. Woohoo. Guys. Aaron and Julie Joe are live right now. So, go watch them if you'd prefer. No worries. You can always catch me on the replay. So, go check them out if you want. No pressure. Hi, Lori. Oh, we have friends here. Oh, yeah, I finished listening to a podcast just in time. Hi, Demi. Thank you for being here. Hi, Monica. Yay. Awesome. I have you in the comp and them on the phone. Oh, that's so cool. Thanks, Monica. That's awesome. Thank you. Oh, you're watching both. That's so nice. That's so cool. Honestly, whenever there's other streams, I'm assuming that everyone will watch me on the replay because other people are more exciting. So I just I'm prepared to present to myself. I don't think I've ever actually presented to myself before, which is really cool. I really appreciate the fact that people want to watch me. So today we are watching an Amway video from 1996 from something called Free Enterprise Day celebration, I guess. Yeah. And I tried to Google Free Enterprise Day Amway, and I didn't actually get any kind of description as to what Free Enterprise Day actually is. It's some kind of Amway celebration. It's not an American holiday or whatever, but if you have been in Amway or know someone who's been in Amway and you know exactly what Free Enterprise Day is, let us know. Is it still happening now? What do you do there? What happens there other than these speeches that we're going to watch? Let me know. I'd love to hear. Yeah, Monica's here. Woohoo. Thanks, Monica. I really appreciate that. So this is one of the most culty videos I've ever seen. I showed the first 2 minutes to my husband, and he was shocked. And I'm wearing sunglasses, so you won't be able to see my eyes with my reaction. But it's outrageous. It's outrageous. So I'm really excited, and I hope you guys enjoy this culty ass Amway video. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. Okay, we ready? Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to welcome you here this evening, and we hope that you enjoy the celebration. A celebration of patriotism, a celebration of our flag, a celebration of our country, a celebration of our God, but most important of all, a celebration of our free enterprise economic system. Welcome to Free Enterprise Day 1996.
1996, I was tiny. I was not very old. So it's so fun to watch these videos from 1,000 years ago where I'm like, where was I? How old was I? Was I alive when that happened? And often I'm not alive when we watch our Amway videos. Free Enterprise Day, we're celebrating the free enterprise system where our level of success is based on us pulling ourselves up by the bootstraps. Our success is based off of our own effort and our own willingness to sacrifice, because free enterprise, in my very broad understanding, lack of government intervention. We don't need handouts. We don't need government assistance in order to find success. We've heard Amway friends tell us that you are in poverty because you are speaking your poverty into existence. All you have to do is just speak your wealth and your success into existence, and then you will no longer experience poverty anymore. So We're already off to a great start. We're celebrating God. We're celebrating the plan, the Amway plan. We're celebrating patriotism because if we're an Amway, we're proud to be Americans. We have to spread the joy of America across the world through the Amway plan and the Amway compensation structure. I have a lot to say. Right? Cringe already. Is it really just a celebration of the MLM structure? I think so. I think so. You were 17. Nice. I love, like, we watched videos from like 1982, and I was like, I was a minus 1,000 years old. Right, Monica? Thanks, Monica. Yeah, don't forget to change to a live chat.
And when you get those.
Okay. This is the part I showed my husband, and he was like, what? What is this? So I may try to just let this part play for a little bit, but I'll have lots to say. But let me know what you think.
Dreams right, the vision right, the mental hunger right, and you get focused, and you get that junkyard dog mentality that you were designed to have, because when you get the junkyard dog mentality and you're not only in Amway, but you allow Amway to get inside of you because...
What? Not only are we in Amway, we're letting Amway get inside of us because we have a junkyard dog mentality. We've heard Dexter Yeager tell us we have to show the plan 5 to 6 nights a week, but instead of just saying it, Dex will say 5 to 6 nights a week, 5 to 6 nights a week. And then after we watch these videos, I like find myself saying it in my head because like the tone and like the rhythm is in my head. Here it's like junkyard dog mentality. I wonder if that's like a cult tactic. What do you think? Is it a cult tactic? I don't know, man. It's creepy. Oh, lick the stream, Monica said. Yay, thank you. Yes, if you like it. I can already feel, yes, Demi, yes. Jim Jones vibe. It gets worse. I've seen so many anti-MLM videos. I think I'm immune to them trying to sucker me into an MLM. I can see right through them. Exactly. You love this community. Aww. I love our little community too. It's so nice and so supportive, and I love it. So I love that you guys are here. Hi, Bling Auntie. Yes. Ew. Charlie says hi. Oh, hi, Mark. Mark, I'm so happy you're here. 1996 Free Enterprise Day celebration in Amway. Did you ever go to a Free Enterprise celebration? If so, if you're comfortable sharing, what'd you do? How was it? Tell us if you're comfortable. I'd love to hear it. Chants and sing-song voice stuff is a cult tactic. Exactly. Yes. Okay, let's actually let him talk for more than 5 seconds.
It's built on the depth of your conviction and not the height of your logic, and you get mentally hungry and you ignore the news media and you ignore the newspaper and you ignore the mother-in-laws and the brother-in-laws and the sister-in-laws and all the don'ts and can'ts and won'ts and haves, and get hungry. You are that miracle, and you are meant not to take rent on this country or this world. You are meant to occupy it, because when you get stamped on your flanks with that ADA number and you develop the dream, because man makes the dream, then the dream makes the man. And if you don't know where you're going, you're not going to like where you wind up. But ain't it great to be in a Coliseum today with people like you that are miracles, that are observing the masses and doing the opposite and not home cutting the grass or watching the grass die. You're here today because you're hungry. You want to be free, because no man's ever free as long as he's governed and controlled by the circumstances. And you're here to knock down the circumstances by occupying and being able to say, when you leave here today, goodbye yesterday, hello tomorrow. God loves you, and so do I.
Mega church / dictator in, I don't know where there's dictators. Occupy, or like the leader of like a militia. That's where like preacher / militia leader. Very strange. Like, remember, we are at a work conference here. Like, can you imagine being at a work conference and someone screaming occupy at us, occupy, and telling us to ignore our father-in-law, mother, sister-in-law, brother-in-law, the news media, this, that, like, ignore everything, ignore research about Amway, ignore critiques, ignore everything, and just stay focused on your Amway goals, right? Like, why do we need to literally ignore the whole world in order to find success? That should be a red flag. And why are people sitting here clapping and screaming with this person yelling cult language at us, telling us to ignore loved ones who are like, hey, sweetie, you're not making any money. I'm worried about you. Just ignore them. But a long time ago, a viewer of an Amway video told me to remember the audience of these kinds of videos, right? Like, these people who are at this Free Enterprise Day in 1996, they are already most likely like indoctrinated into the Amway system. They are not. No, one of the ladies later does say, I hope you make the decision to join. So maybe not all of them are already in, but I feel like the majority of them are already in the Amway system, and they don't need to be convinced, so then they can say whatever they want. What do you think? It's been 11 and a half minutes, and I've gotten through 2 minutes and 15 seconds. It's what people know about it. If I did not know this was an MLM, I would have assumed I was watching a preacher at a megachurch. Exactly. So strange. Just a little extreme. Very righteous gemstones vibes. Yes. Yes. So, from the friends who have watched a lot of my Amway videos, do you think this clip is the cultiest you've heard? In my opinion, it is. Out of all the ones I've done on this channel, even including like Dexter, I think this like 2-minute clip is the worst. What do you think? You might not remember all the clips. I do. They're all in my brain. And I think this guy like beats Dexter. Sorry. I'm so glad the company I work for doesn't do weird shit like this. Exactly, Demi. Exactly.
Going from a little 1,100 square foot home to living now in a huge, beautiful Victorian country home out in the country of Alpine. And I have horses now. I have a couple horses.
Going from a little 1,100 square foot home, 1,100 square feet, like, that's not a mansion, but like, that's a good sized home. 1996, like, that's a good house, good sized house. And like, can you imagine her saying that? And then the people in the crowd are like, well, my house is 900 square feet and I'm happy in my house. Like, should I want a bigger house? Is there something wrong with my dreams that like I don't want a bigger house than 1,100 square feet? And now they live in such like a huge, brilliant house, and she has horses. It's like, but if you were in a job, you could likely like buy the horses yourself. And then someone left a really, really good comment on a previous video of mine, kind of stating that like if you were just in a job, you could buy the stuff yourself. It's kind of, I wish I could explain it properly. They were saying, and I agree, that like we shouldn't just be saying, well, they're in a job, so it's automatically better than an MLM, because we know a lot of jobs don't pay proper wages. In the United States, minimum wage could be like $7 an hour, and that is not enough for anyone to survive. You may have no workers' rights. You may want like a union, but you're not unionized. You may not have benefits. You may not have paid time off. And so just because someone has employment does not mean necessarily that they're being treated better than someone in an MLM, which I totally agree with that. And I think that's a really good point to make, because working conditions, workers' rights is a very real struggle in the United States, in North America, across Canada. And so, yeah, I don't know what my point is. It's just not black and white. It's not like job equals good, MLM equals bad. So I know what my point is, because I was saying if she just had a job, she could probably buy the horses herself. Well, not necessarily if she was making whatever the minimum wage, if there was minimum wage in 1996, like not necessarily. She might not have been able to afford a bunch of horses. That's my point. Sorry. Blabbing. Okay, you think Dexter is one of the cultiest? The husband and wife team were pretty extreme. They all are. Exactly. This lady just transferred me to the 90s with the hairspray. Yeah, it was 1996. Hey, lady, the 80s called. Yes. I'm very happy. Yes, exactly. My father was an Amway in the 70s. He was a good, God-fearing man. This rhetoric was how he was recruited. Oh, that's so sad. I'm sorry. Why do they assume everyone wants a huge house? Yeah, exactly. I don't either. Yeah, I've always been in apartments. And before I moved in with my husband, I always had studio apartments. And my biggest apartment ever was 460 square feet. And I thought it was like a mansion. Like, I was so excited by the size of my apartment. Exactly. If you're in an apartment, no lawn care, right? Yes. So, yeah, she might not have been able to buy horses if she wasn't in Amway in 1996 either. So WI, Wisconsin, right? In Wisconsin in the early 2000s, it was 525. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. Okay, so I tried to Google Free Enterprise Day Amway, and I couldn't find anything from these culty clips we've seen so far. It's just motivational rubbish. It's talking about the American dream. But do you know any more details about that? Like, what is Free Enterprise Day? Is it like Amway wide, or do different fancy uplines host their own? Okay, you're answering my question already. Thank you. The message of their free enterprise rubbish is that anyone who does not think Amway is a bad idea is a communist and anti-free enterprise. Oh, interesting. Thank you. Yeah, okay, got you. Yeah, I thought so, but I'm like, I don't know. Being in the military, I have lived most of my life in apartments. Now that I'm about to retire, I was finally able to purchase my first home. Woohoo! Congratulations! That's amazing. That's so cool. I grew up in Wisconsin, but Hardy moved out by that time and was having kids. Ooh, cool. Very cool. I've never been to Wisconsin, pretty much anywhere in the United States.
And I have the time to ride them whenever I want to. It's such a dream come true. And the vehicles, you can drive the vehicles of your dream. Mike just bought me a brand new 97 Suburban, and I'm just so fired up to be getting that. And, best of all, it's our marriage. I have the most incredible marriage. So we work on it every day. It's not perfect, but I have the most incredible respect and love for my husband. And I know the love that he has for me. And we have 3 healthy, beautiful children. And we even have a dog. We have a golden retriever that sits in our front yard. It's scary. We remind ourselves of a Norman Rockwell painting sometimes. Our life can be so perfect.
And that's wonderful that if she's being truthful, that she's so happy with her life, that she is like happy with her marriage, and she got a dog. She has a dog that she loves, and that sounds wonderful. But you can work on your marriage and love and respect your spouse without being in Amway. You can have a life that like looks the way you want it without being in Amway. We can like have a job that we don't mind, have a house that we're proud of, and like spend time with our kids when we can, and we can still have a wonderful life. We can still have a dog. We can still do the things we want to do if we're not in Amway. I feel like there's a lot of black and white thinking here. Either you're in Amway and you have the life you want, or you're not in Amway and you're sad and you just keep dreaming of the life you want. Does that make sense? What do you think? I wrote that wrong. Amway is free enterprise and capitalist, while anti-MLM. Yes, okay. I think I understood it. Are anti-capitalism and communist thinking Amway is trash? Yes. Okay. Yeah, thinking Amway is trash does not make you anti-free enterprise or capitalism. Got you. Same, Lori, same. Yeah, it's never too late to buy your dream home. And like you said, Monica, it does not need to be a big fancy mansion. You can be proud, human you, not just Monica. You can be proud of purchasing a 500, 600 square foot apartment or a cute little starter home. And I don't like the idea that, like, what if someone was saving up and just bought an 1100 square foot home and they're sitting in the audience being like, well, is my home not big enough? Was I silly to purchase a home this small? It's like, no, if that's what you wanted to do, then congratulations. Norman Rockwell is one of my least favorite artists. I would never want a life that feels like one of his paintings. I don't know anything about Norman Rockwell. She's pulling the golden retriever card. Oh, I love golden retrievers. Give me Leyendecker. Oh, what kind of painting does Leyendecker do? I've never heard of them. Really? That's funny. I like that. Emma likes to stress that being in Amway strengthens marriages. Diamonds who separate from their partners are told to pretend to still be together. Really? Really? Oh man, that's awful. It's nothing big, nothing super fancy, but it's home and it's comfortable. Oh my goodness, that's so cool. That's awesome. Congratulations.
I was a retired man at 35 years old.
You're not retired at 35 if you're talking at this conference, sir. You're not.
We're looking for a few good men. We're looking for some good women that'll back those men. You know what?
1996, gender roles were different than they are now. We have to take that within the context of the time. Growing up in 1996, women were out and about. Women were working wherever they wanted. Fathers were staying at home with their kids. Gender roles in many, many households were more fluid and flexible. Not saying that's better or worse than anything else, but they were more flexible. And that is really like, that's more like 1950s vibe, not 1990s vibe. We're looking for a few good men and women to back the men, but not women to work the business and make the millions of dollars that you're promised you're going to make if you're in Amway. And in 1996, it is a community, society-wide thing, not just an Amway thing, but there's always the assumption that relationships are a man and a woman and that there is no other kind of relationship that exists. I think that's also a product of the time. Okay, was an artist active around the same time as Norman Rockwell, but his paintings just exude this incredible elegance and style instead of the kitschy hometown feel. Oh, how cool. I need to put my hair up. I am hot. Oh my God, this already grinds my gears. I know I've commented this before in your lives. Which one? Oh, yes, but I can't help it. Dude, you are not retired. Exactly. I urge you to re-upload Marcos Band Primerica video on your channel. We have to send all these emblem companies a message that we will not be censored. I don't know. I'll have to think about it. I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to be in like legal issues myself. I don't know. I'll think about it. I'll definitely think about it. Thank you. Retire means working in a company or job for more than 20 years at least. Doesn't mean just switching to another job, too. I'm 18. I'm almost there. I will retire, not you. Do you mean like you're 18 years away from retirement? Yay, glad I'm here. I'm not too late catching this live, but happy I'm here seeing it live instead of a replay. Yay! Thank you for coming. Okay. Maybe. Thank you. I'll consider it. F you with this rhetoric. I've commented this in most of your lives on talking about Amway because it really bothers me when they say this. Fair. Oh, cool. Nice. That's so exciting. Okay, let's keep going.
This is our country. This is our country. And we want it back. Come on, let's get it back.
Stand with me for a minute, please. Stand with me for a minute. I want you to feel it. I want you to taste it. I want you to say it. Freedom. 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 Deep within, freedom. To do what you want to do. To go where you want to go. To be what you want to be. Freedom. William Wallace had expectancy of the people. The diamonds have expectancy. He's going through the epic battle, the final battle, outmanned, outnumbered.
Okay. Right? Get it back from whom? I don't know who we're getting it back from. That's a really good question. So freedom. We are yelling freedom in a really, really intense manner. And then we're comparing being in Amway to being on the front lines of like a battle. And in my opinion, he's going to insinuate that what am I trying to say? He's going to insinuate that those who are like against us being in Amway, they're at war with us, and it's our job to stand up and fight against those people who are against us. So we're in a battle against the people who want to bring us down. And it's not like they're just like our spouse or our parents who are concerned. No, they hate us. They hate us. Okay.
And here's his final talk. Here's his final talk to the troops. And our leaders could say the same thing to you, so listen to these words. I see a whole country of men in the army here in defiance of tyranny. You've come here as free men, and free men you are. What will you do without freedom? Will you fight? No, you will run, someone said. Fight, and you may die. Run, and you will live. And dying in your beds many years from now, would you be willing to trade all the days from this day to that for one chance, just one chance, to come back here and tell your enemies that you can take our lives, but you can never take our freedom! 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 Freedom!
And 4 years ago,
I don't want the Amway definition of freedom if it means I have to show the plan 5 to 6 nights a week, if it means that I have to go to all these conferences, if it means I have to think of my loved ones who are worried about me in Amway as enemies, as my enemies on the battlefield, if I don't actually have any control over my time, over how I run my business, because you are lured into MLM with the promise that you are going to be able to run your business the way you want. You can have freedom, like they just said, to be your own business owner and CEO. But then once you're in Amway, you have to submit to your upline, to the system. You have to do exactly what they say. We've heard Rocky Covington literally tell us that we have to turn ourselves into our upline in order to find success. So I don't want to be in Amway if that's what the definition of freedom is. I don't want to be in Amway if Bill Britt was still working when he's in his 70s, even though he's rich. In one of the Bill Britt videos, someone did say lots of people like to work when they're older because they just enjoy it. But if we are free, and their definition of free is being able to do what you want, go where you want, when you want to go there, then why couldn't Bill Britt do what he wanted to do and not work in Amway constantly? Why couldn't he delegate? Why couldn't he still own his Amway tool scam company but have someone else run it? Why did he feel the need to continue working when he was so old, in his late 70s? right? I want the freedom where I just go to work and then come home and then I have my evenings to do whatever I want. And I also have a little bit of flexibility at work to do things in a more creative manner too. Like I have assignments, but I often will take the assignments I'm given in a different direction. And 99% of the time I got really, really great feedback on my work. And so at work, I have some freedom as well. And in like post COVID days, I have freedom as to where I want to work as well. I don't have to turn myself into my boss in order to find success at my job. Okay, I am behind, right? Don't worry about legal issues. These MLMs try to sue anti-MLM creators, but they never get far and never win. Plus, you're not in the US, so it's harder for them to try and sue, so don't worry. I saw a lady who has like 1,000 subscribers and doesn't get like a massive amount of views, like maybe 200 views on each video, and she was getting sued. And I was like, okay, well, I don't have that many subscribers, but like we have a similar view count on some of our videos. Like some of my videos have 100 or 200 views, and I'm like, do they really go after like tiny people? Right? Isn't it so weird? Why are we screaming freedom? Like the freedom part also is giving like 1970s dictator as well. Yelling freedom, exactly. Amway is actually the only country that is anti-America. They tell the public over and over again that all employees in the U.S. are nothing more than glorified slaves. The actual fuck is going on? Yeah. That's funny. According to Amway, 90% of all Americans are slaves in their jobs. The U.S. is a horrible place, according to Amway. Interesting point, though, because they're like pushing the American way and patriotism. But yeah, good point where they say everyone who's in a job is a slave. And so America doesn't sound that great if everyone is a slave to their job, right? Interesting. Same. I'm also very thrilled with my career choice. Oh yeah, I just mean like in general, not just those re-uploaders, right? Because like could Amway see my videos that have like 200 views on them and be like, we're gonna sue her even though she barely gets views? You know? It is the same when legal documents are leaked. They go after the leaker. They cannot do anything about the people who pass on the leaks. Interesting. Okay, let's keep going.
Oh, we made that decision. I hope some of you are going to make that decision this weekend, because I have to tell you, it is so worth it. Every dream that I had on my refrigerator, a red 911 Porsche Carrera. We bought it at Emerald. I mean, a brand new baby daughter. We had pictures of little girls all over our house. And we have that baby daughter today. And you know what? She doesn't know a mommy and daddy who go to work. In fact, it's kind of a problem. We go over to friends' houses during the day, and she says to the little girls, "Where's your daddy?" And the mom goes, "Well, he's at work, honey." Blank stare. She has no idea what that means for a daddy to go off to work every day. And I'm so grateful for that.
Another thing that they taught me was,
again, so her and her husband could not have achieve their dream of having a daughter without Amway. But what if someone has like struggles with becoming pregnant, and are they going to hear that and think that all I need to do is just join Amway and then I will be able to also have a baby? And it's also, are they also insinuating that like because of Amway they were able to provide they were able to provide like the financial needs to have a baby and to like have the baby grow up really comfortable and have everything that it needs? Because as I said previously with the past comment that I thought was a very brilliant comment, you won't automatically be able to save for a child in another job in an average work environment. However, you are more likely to be in a work environment where you are paid a reasonable amount of money than you are to make a reasonable amount of money in Amway. And so you are more likely to be able to save money for a family if you are in a non-MLM business structure. I loved that comment. That was such a good comment because it's not like job equals good, MLM equals bad, because it's more of a nuanced conversation, I think. Picture this: if everyone in the planet was on Amway, how would the world function? How could they explain how the economy would continue? Who would buy what, and who would be left to sell to? Brilliant. Brilliant. We need to send a message to all these MLM companies that not only can they not censor anti-MLM videos, yeah, I will think about it. Oh my God, good point. That the little girl's like, really? Your dad goes to work? But just because the dad is not leaving the home, like, how present is the dad actually, right? Because we've heard from Bert Gerlich. I feel like I'm on my cord, and I hope I'm not causing issues with my audio. I'm sorry. Let me move it. We've heard Bert Gerlich talk about, like, he would encourage his daughter to go up and talk to people in order to prospect them, right? And so I wonder, with that example, how present is that father actually, right? So I was telling Amway, right? More people saw Welcome to Life because Amway had a band. Yeah. How would it operate? And then there'd be no one left to recruit into Amway. Yeah. I will think about it. Potentially. Maybe. I will consider it. So she is saying that her kids do not know that their parents actually work, so they will not know what real work ethic means. If so, that is what the kids will think. Yep. Okay, Charlie said audio is good. Thank you, Charlie. Yeah, and it's a good thing to, in my opinion, please correct me if this is a weird thing to say. It's a good thing for kids, in my opinion, if they can, if they're able to have some separation from their parents occasionally, to go to school, to go to daycare, to go to their friend's house and learn independence, learn problem solving without their parents, learn how to communicate with other people, and just develop independent of their parents. I know if a child has a disability, that's not always possible. Of course, I acknowledge that. But in MLMs, I feel like they think that you can never be away from your children or else they're not going to be well-adjusted humans. And in my opinion, I think it's the opposite. I think it's great for kids to develop, when possible, away from the parents to just become more independent.
Leave your campsite better than you found it when you got there. Well, as I grew up and grew in this business, I came to realize I still need to do that. My campsite's just a little bigger now. It's Southern California. It's the United States of America. And this business has given me a tool to leave it better than I found it, instead of the mess I was making of it before. So I don't know what's going to grab you, folks. I don't know if it's going to be the houses, the cars, the travel, the time with your kids that you hear talked about up here. When I take my daughter to swim class and dance class, there ain't a whole lot of dads around to have conversations with. They look at me kind of weird, like, oh, you must be unemployed or a stay-at-home dad or something, you know, and your mom's out helping or your wife's out doing everything for you. No, we're free together. They ain't got a clue. They ain't got a clue.
When you're out at swim class with your daughter, are you actually like enjoying the time with your daughter, watching her swimming, cheering her on, or are you looking for other dads to prospect to say, like, you're never with your daughter, you're never with your kids because you're always working, so don't you want to be free like me and my wife, where look, it's 2 p.m. and I'm with my kid at swimming instead of at work? And so I highly doubt that this person is just enjoying themselves and being present in the moment. When I was at hockey practice, 99% of the time I had both parents there. I often, like 100%, it was at least one. They would watch me. They would watch me play at games. They would watch me intently and give me feedback after. They were present. They were not walking around prospecting other parents to try to recruit them into Amway. They were just enjoying themselves at my hockey practices and my hockey games. Do you notice that he said they ain't got a clue? And so the people who are in Amway understand the strength of the Amway opportunity, understand how Amway can change the world and change their families' lives. But anyone who's not in Amway just doesn't understand. They just don't understand what real freedom is like, and therefore they need us to educate them.
Clue. A lot goes on backstage back here with people sharing their dreams and pictures of their new houses and plans and things like that. And last few weeks we've been
also, so he's like, it may be the houses or the travel or the spending time with your kids. And so we're really sold the dream, right? Like, we're not just saying, hey, come sell some soap. It's like, hey, you could have a beautiful house. You can spend all the time you could ever imagine with your children if you just join Amway. Most time with their kids, Dexter even admitted that he missed most of his kids' events because he was showing the plan 5 to 6 nights a week. Dexter traveled for Amway rallies nonstop for decades. Where's the time freedom, sir? Where's the time being a present their father? And I know not everyone has the privilege of not working constantly. Like, some people can't be there for swim class and hockey games because they have to work. I'm not talking about those parents. It's different here when you are pushing the fact that you can be with your children all the time if you just join Amway, when in reality, the most famous, most rich person in Amway, Dexter, missed events with his kids constantly, but was recruiting people based off the fact that, like, you too can spend all your time with your children if you just join me.
Carrying around an incredible picture of a beautiful new home that we've been able to buy. These things are real handy. A couple things you can do with them. You can address them to your friends that said no. Pretend it's a postcard.
Don't be rude. So you're sending a picture of your big, beautiful house to your friends who told you no? To manipulate your friends into your downline? I don't like that. That's manipulation. Yes, but most parents are there after work and on weekends. Yeah, and they try their best. Exactly. If you're a parent who has to work constantly, if you can, I'm sure you try your best to go to events with your kids, and I'm sure they see that. Like, if you miss some events with your kids, but it's obvious that you try your best, that when you're available, when you're around, that you're present and you spend time with your kids when you can, kids are going to notice that, and kids will appreciate that. Exactly, Charlie. Can you imagine someone doing that? Unlike MLM, where they might be there at the house, but they're not actually present. Yes, exactly. They wouldn't be on cell phones in 1996, though. Was internet a thing in 1996 in homes? I think it was. I think it was like just barely starting at that time. So like they could have been like on their computers, but I remember you couldn't be like on the internet and on the phone at the same time.
I just want you to know that you have a choice now. You've seen that it doesn't take a certain person. You've seen this all weekend long. It does not take a certain person. I mean, Randy and I were stoners. He's a bread truck driver, and we were just stoners. I mean, but I had a dream always. There's got to be a way. We live in America. There has to be a way. And without going to school, without doing all these things, there has to be a way to make it, because this is America. Other people make it. How do they do it? You know? And I remember always.
Just because one's a stoner doesn't mean they're not motivated and they don't want what's best for them. It could just be your hobby. You could just enjoy it. You could just like getting high after work. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Maybe in 1996 it was a big deal, but maybe she's just like playing on the fact that she was a stoner, and that like, despite the fact that she was a stoner, she was able to find great success in Amway. And it's like, Just because you enjoy marijuana doesn't mean that you're not going to be able to have success. Oh yeah, and so people make it in America without having to go back to school, without this, and so you're shown that Amway is like an easy way to find success in your life, right? Okay, Demi said drug use was a huge deal in the 90s. Okay, I take that back. Now it's not as big of a deal. So she's making it seem like Amway is like a quick way to find success. Like, I wanted to change my life without going back to school, but then once you're in Amway, you are kind of like, what am I trying to say? You're kind of shamed for wondering why you're not finding success really quickly. Does that make sense? So that is kind of contradictory. Okay. I love that you guys are so chatty. I love this. Scott Johnson was the man who was having the battle with Always Marco, says that the biggest regret in Amway was that it cost him time with his children. Yeah. That's why he fights the Amway tool scam. Exactly. Yeah, I remember hearing that. Also, internet was a thing by the early 90s. It was dial-up only for sure. I didn't have internet connection until 1998, but I have friends who had it in as early as 1994. My niece knows my sister, her mom does. Yeah, everything possible to be with her as much as she can. You don't have to be glued to your kids 24/7. That's on the extreme and non-healthy either. Yes. Okay, wait. Either they found a healthy balance and have a good relationship. My sister took vacation and she's going to take her daughter to Disney. I love that. And she's not with her kid all the time, and she sounds like a great mother. Internet was not a thing in 1996, but big shots used to carry around huge mobile phones. They were the ultimate status symbol. I have a memory of having a clunky computer in the 90s, but I don't remember like what part of the decade we had that in, if it was like early or late. Okay. Yeah, Demi said drug use was a big deal. Okay. They found a healthy balance and have a good... Okay, I already saw that one. Sorry. America is the land of the working poor. Millions of hardworking people with jobs in America live in poverty. Amway takes advantage of that. And the concept of living wage is saying that like people should not be working full time and still living in poverty. And so the idea is that if you work full time, you should be able to provide for yourself and take care of your children. But in my opinion, at least in Canada, the method to calculate the living wage is not truly realistic, because the whole point is that you're supposed to get expenses and income as close to each other as possible without it being in the negative. And so the idea is, say like your salary is $1 more than your expenses, and so technically you're not like going into debt or like running out of money at the end of the month, but you would have to budget really carefully if you actually got what living wage was in like different cities throughout Canada. That is a blabber. That's not the point. But like living wage is touted as a solution for the working poor, but I don't think it's a fantastic solution either. And it also can change all the time too. The father's going to stay home and wait for them to come back. Aww. That's so nice. Internet in 1996 was super expensive and it was awful. Maybe 3% of homes had it. Okay, gotcha. Aw, that's nice. Scott Johnson, that man makes me laugh. His Ready to Always Marco and Debate with Glenn are classic. His heart is in the right place, but sadly he's still brainwashed and defends Amway. Yeah, I've heard him defend Amway before.
Always thinking that kind of thing. And Randy, he hated me, I think, for it. He's like, get off my back. I mean, can't you just relax? I could never relax. It was like, we could do something. There's something out there. But we were just stoners trying to get by and going to our jobs and smoking our pot and hoping that we could find something or run into somebody someday and something great. And we did.
Amway is cool. Okay, now here's the other part to that. Amway is fun. Okay? Amway is cool. And Amway is fun. See, this is a cool business. Guys, if people aren't in the Amway business, they aren't cool.
Comes up here and introduces.
Great example of like us versus them mentality, right? So if we're not at Amway, we're not cool and we're not fun. And so people who say no to joining Amway with you are just not cool. And it's not your fault. It has nothing to do with Amway. They're just weird, strange people who don't understand. And so anyone who's not in Amway is deficient and is strange. Did she say smoking our pot? I think so. They were just like going to work, smoking their pot, trying to get by, looking for something to change, hoping to run into someone. And then they just, what am I trying to say? Hoping to run into someone that will help them change their lives, you know? Okay, my sister-in-law that lives in Melbourne disagrees with you, and both her and her husband are working full-time professional jobs. Yeah, it probably depends on like where you live in Australia too. Like I'm sure in some parts of the country, like the cost of living would be a lot lower. It depends if you have a house. I'm sure it depends if you have kids, what your kids' needs are, right? And like minimum wage in one place in Australia would get you a lot farther than minimum wage in another place. So that's also a really good point. Good point. And I'm sure like is minimum wage like is there one minimum wage across Australia or is it like city by city? Oh, Lori's leaving. Oh, I'm sorry, Lori. I'm sorry, Lori. I didn't see you were leaving. Bye, Lori. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Okay. And then Charlie said bye to Lori. This is hilarious to me because of the anti-drug problems in the 90s going on and on about peer pressure. And then there's this guy right after the lady who's talking about using marijuana. He's like, it's cool. You're not in Amway. It's because you're not cool. Exactly. He is like something out of Revenge of the Nerds. It's always us versus them. Do they actually believe anyone in not an Amway smokes pot? Maybe. They sure do. Agree with you to a point. Things are harder now in Australia. There is now a huge rental crisis and homeless crisis. But the minimum wage in USA is $7.35 and in Australia is $22 an hour. Yeah, there's problems everywhere, right? Like certain cities have more poverty than others. There could be more homelessness in one part of the country than in others. It really depends on like local economic conditions and on the needs of each specific family. Like $22 an hour for two parents working full time. If they have 5 kids, one of them who has really severe health struggles and has a lot of medical bills, that's not going to go as far as someone maybe just like a couple without kids living in like a small rental apartment. It's not going to go as far. It's a really complicated conversation about like local economics and just budgeting too, because every family is going to have slightly different needs, right? Okay, interesting conversation though. Okay, $15 an oh, interesting. Yeah, federal wage. Many states have higher minimum wages. Exactly. Okay.
Introduces me in a few short years ago. He said, I ain't into that hero worship. I run around with a flag, walk off stage. He comes up, shakes my hand, goes tells his wife, I ain't ever going to wash his hand. He comes up to me while ago and he said,
you're not into hero worship, but it's Amway. Human you in Amway worships all the uplines. All the uplines are like fabulous and they're godlike celebrity creatures who just have the most brilliant marriages, have like the most brilliant lives. They're the most brilliant parents, the most brilliant friends. And it's just funny to hear him say that because everyone in Amway is taught to worship their uplines and turn it into their uplines. I'm not sure if it's all of Illinois or just Chicago area, but I'm pretty sure it's $15 here too. Yeah, exactly. like $15 an hour in some parts of Canada, in like smaller areas, could be, I guess, maybe enough if you're a single person living in a tiny apartment. But say it's like $15 in Toronto. No, like you could not survive off of that. Oh. Okay, ready?
Said, hey, brother, I love you. You heard his talk today. He talked about the beautiful picture of his home. It's a beautiful picture. It looks like a drug mafia type guy picture. And on the back of it that he wrote to me, it says, to Jim and Judy, thanks for the unconditional love, support, and teaching. I love you, Frank. I mean, where does a man go from a two-bedroom track house in the military to a $7,000 home on 13 acres in $1 million estate area if it ain't for a dream and a vision and a vehicle to do things with his life? Let me tell you guys something.
If you join Amway, you can use it as a vehicle for you to get to your dream home and your dream life. Nothing wrong with a 2-bedroom home. I don't know what a track house is, but maybe he had a 2-bedroom apartment on like a military base. Well, sir, you're serving your country. You're living in the provided housing. It's great. It's great. I love it. Like, I love that you have a place to live while you're serving your country. Why are we talking down on that? Yes, F you. Leave the military out of your mouth, says Monica. Why are we demeaning military provided housing? Now, I don't have any knowledge of it. I'm sure it's not perfect. I'm sure there are issues with it. I'm sure they're not the biggest apartments ever. Who knows if they're kept clean? But why are we just assuming because he didn't live in this place while he was in Amway, that is just like a horrible place to live? We don't know if it's a horrible place. We don't know. Yeah. Part of the reason why Amway loved Ronald Reagan so much was because his message was, if you're poor in the USA, it's your fault. Amway's message was the exact same thing. If you are not diamond, it's your own fault. I don't know how common it is to live in trailers in the US. Where I live, most people live in apartments or houses. Same, mostly apartments, I'd say. Same. I see 1 out of 2. Do you have another comment? Is it coming? I'll wait. I want to see what you say next. Yep. We've heard Rich DeVos say that stuff too. Like, it's your own fault if you're poor because you're not in Amway yet. And if you just join Amway and follow the Amway plan, then you will find financial success. Not gonna lie, Reagan ruined our country. Almost every bad thing in the US now can be connected back to him. Interesting. I know nothing of politics.
Closing. You can either make yourself a victim in life. Now listen to me, men. Listen to me, ladies. You can either be a victim in life or you can be a victor. I am so tired of people going around saying, oh, I got a chip on my shoulder. I can't. How come more black people don't build Amway? How come more Mexican people don't build Amway? How come more singles don't build Amway? How come more this don't build Amway? Let me tell you what I found out. What I found out is when you look through the Ammogram, there's every kind of walk of life. There's every mixing pot. There's everybody in that Ammogram that's got a dream. And all you have to do is have a dream. This business is no respecter of person. All you need is a dream. Let it go from your head to your heart, from your head to your heart, and get a big dream.
You're saying here's the second biggest.
You just have to get a big dream and you will find success. It doesn't matter if you happen to be an ethnic minority. We hear that a lot. Like Ray Hagen says, like, if you're poor, it's because you're not manifesting money into your life. And that comes from, in my opinion, a very privileged position of someone who is Caucasian, who appears to be like, what am I trying to say? Identify as male, and so like chances are they most likely have not experienced sexism or racism or xenophobia, and they don't know what it's like to have like structural inequalities that make it more challenging for someone to get a good job, to meet their financial goals. And him saying it doesn't matter who you are, all you need is a dream, that is not acknowledging the fact that other people, they start at like it's harder for people because of racism, because of structural inequalities. Yeah. I know it's not easy with the wage disparity. I just dislike all the hating on the US as if the rest of the world is perfect, but people forget how immigrants. Okay, yeah. True. It's not perfect, true, but we're provided with a home and food. Yeah. Might not be perfect, but like the military's like you just said, home and food, right? And why are people in Amway like speaking down on that, right? Yeah, all you need is a big dream. No. Okay, we're almost done.
Response in America today. You put her in one room and him in the other room, and you say, "What's your dream? Man, why do you do what you do? Why do you get up 5 days a week and leave your wife in a warm bed? Why? Why do you leave your kids?"
Because sometimes it's good to go off to work and spend time separate to your spouse. Like, it's not a bad thing to be away from your spouse. Again, I'm not talking about like people in the military who are away from their spouse for months and months at a time, or people who work away from like their family. I'm just talking about someone who goes to work for 8 hours, and so maybe they're away from their spouse for 10 hours a day, and then they see them again. Like, it's not a negative thing to have like your own job away from your spouse, and then you come home and then you like hang out and like relax with your spouse afterwards. It's not a bad thing to have some separation. Yes, Demi agrees. I cannot fathom being around my parents or my partner or my housemates 100% of the time. Yeah. And I'm not talking about people who are away from their spouses for 6, 7, 8 months. We can be away from our spouse for 9 hours, for 10 hours a day. That's fine.
It's the best days, the best weeks, the best months, the best hours of your life. Why? Because it fulfills you? Liar! I don't believe it.
Because it fulfills you. Liar. I don't believe it. So if someone says, like, I like my job, I'm happy where I am, it's not that it's true. It's not that they're just really happy with where they are in life. It's that they're lying. And people in Amway, it's our job to help them see that they're not actually fulfilled. They're just lying. I don't need a man to provide for me. Exactly. Hi, PH Actress. Thank you for being here. Hi, folks. The only one I want around me all the time is my cat. Exactly. We all need time to ourselves, for sure.
Because it fulfills me? Wrong! No! You put her in one room and him in the other room and say, "What is your dream?" And this
some sexist bullshit is coming up. Warning.
This is the second biggest response. Well, my husband and I don't even know how to say this, but
he's pretending to be the woman by like talking really in like a squeaky tone of voice, by like flickering his eyes, trying to look really cute. In my opinion, it's just demeaning. Like, why can't, if someone identifying as female is like asked a question, why can't you just say, "Oh, well, our dream is this"? Why do you have to be like so condescending and so rude and really just show like a stereotypical crappy way of like representing a woman? Like, why does the woman have to appear unintelligent? I don't like that. It makes me feel weird.
Well, I'm just gonna say it.
We just. Bye, Bling Auntie. Thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. Have a good dinner.
Want a camper? We want to get a camper.
Your dream is a camper?
Why not? I like campers. I have wonderful memories as a kid in our little pop-up trailer, a bit bigger than just like a camper van, but we had a pop-up trailer. We would spend like 3-4 weeks at a time going around to campsites, and it was amazing. We had the best time, and so I don't understand, just because our dream is not big and extravagant and amazing, why can't we want a camper? It really showcases that in MLM, we can only want to have complete time freedom. We can only want to travel the world and have a mansion. Like, that's the only acceptable dream.
You gotta be kidding me! No, I'm not kidding you.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to be like whatever, copyrighted or not. I don't know how copyright works in Amway. I don't understand. Or not in Amway, on YouTube. Sorry. If everyone was fulfilled by building Amway and quitting their job, then how would society even exist? Page actress Monica was just saying that. Like, if everyone was in Amway, how would the rest of the world function? Who would buy Amway if everyone was already in Amway? Who would we recruit into Amway if everyone was already in Amway, right? Like, you can't have everyone in Amway. You can't, because then who would be like the construction workers? Who would be the teachers? Who would be the doctors? Who would be the police officers? Who would be the surgeons? Like, who would keep our society alive and running and fed? Who would be the farmers? Bye. Good night. Exactly, Charlie. Who would, yes. So what do we think about this? I named this the most culty video Amway video I've seen because of the first clip. PH actress, if you want, you can go back to the beginning, like the first 2 minutes is the most culty Amway clip I have ever seen. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. If you want to just go back when we're done, we're going to be done in just a second. So yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Oh, oops. I went in Amway all at the top of the pyramid. Yep, totally realistic. Without the diverse dreams that they're spitting on, they wouldn't even be able to enjoy their rich life because no one would be creating things that diamonds enjoy spending money on. Yeah, like big boats or big like jets, right? Yes. Brilliant point. Amway rallies are so insane. It confuses me why so few anti-MLMers do videos on them. They're kind of hard to find, for sure. Okay. I answered your comment when you asked me that in a separate video. Never been in an MLM. I fell down the rabbit hole right at the beginning of COVID with a few different channels, and then I just started to do like a bunch of research, and I was fascinated by it, and then eventually I was like, I'm going to start a channel and yap about it on the internet. Oh, good. I'm excited to hear what you think about the first 2.5 minutes, probably. Yes, Charlie, yes. Okay, this was amazing. This was so fun. I really appreciate you guys being here. I loved it. Thank you. And I'll go live again on Tuesday night. Don't know what I'm going to do yet. Haven't planned that far ahead, but I will think about it and I will schedule something tomorrow evening at the latest. Thank you to all these people in the chat. Thank you for watching, and I hope you guys had a good time. And yeah, this was awesome and fun. I loved it. There are so many people who fell down a rabbit hole of MLM. I'm one of them. Yes. I find the topic super interesting. Oh, you didn't get the notification that I replied to your comment. That's okay. No worries. Thank you for asking. Woo! So many comments. Yay! Thank you, Jessica. That's so nice. I've never been in an MLM. Okay. Bye, guys. Thank you for being here. I'll see you next time. Have a good evening. Bye.